Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals! And for this very special episode, we will be featuring the LEGO compatible custom Extinct Bricks Originals, King Kong! But before we go on with this video, I'd like to say thanks to youtube.com audio library for this awesome background music. Please also like, share, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. To support my channel, please do not skip on all the ads on all my videos. Thank you so much everyone! You may also want to follow me on all my social media platforms. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also LYKA. There you'll find some of the updates and also exclusive photos on all my customs. The Guess This PC contest winners will be announced at the end of the video, but first here is how you can join. Just click on the Extinct Bricks icon and then it will lead you to the Extinct Bricks homepage. And in the homepage, you'll click there the community link and you'll find there all my posts. Oh god, I'm so excited for this video. Well, let's move on with the making of King Kong. First and foremost, I started with kit bashing, and you can see here there are a lot of figures here that you'll see that I've used, from T-Rex to Triceratops, that is the large one, and also some other parts that I had from my previous toys. The second part of the customization would be of course sculpting, and I think this is the most tedious one. I used several references of King Kong from the 2015 and also from the latest one, which will be released as of this 2021, and this is how it turned out to be. So far I'm happy with the sculpt, but there would be a lot of changes after this, such as of course rendering the legs as well as the teeth and everything else that needs to be sculpted in this particular figure. It took me around 7 days for this one to be completed before I actually do the actual painting, and I think it is worth a while because of the number of articulations that I did for this. This is actually the first time that I did a humanoid featured custom, and I like challenging myself at times, so I'm really glad of the output for this one. Of course, King Kong vs Godzilla will have this particular weapon. So I started off with a few pieces of Lego bricks that I have, and this is how it turned out to be. But at the end of the day, I will be of course making some changes to this one, and you'll see later. Once I finalized the sculpt, I needed to of course do wet sanding on this one, on all the parts, mainly the head, the body, and even the extremities and the legs. And before we proceed with the custom, here is how the weapon actually looks like before. You see it's very simple. There are just a few pieces of Lego that I used here, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. Then I moved on with of course primering the figure, and since King Kong is mainly black, so I used a black colored primer for this one. Now the rest of the figure will of course be having treated with hand painting. Most of the face would be of course light gray, but I'm not satisfied with just using gray. I will be having several colors to this one, a gradient of dark grays to black, and also highlights of white on the face as well, just to catch the light. The midsection of the torso is also bare and doesn't have fur on it, so that would be also great. Although primer is already in black, I wanted it to have a little bit of color, so I mixed black with a little bit of burnt umber And this is how it looked like. It's not very far from the color black, but nonetheless, it really did bring some interest in the color itself. As earlier said, there will be different shades of gray, shades of gray for King Kong. So this is the medium shade of gray for the abs as well as the chest, and this will be carried throughout the face as well. Certain highlights such as white or light, very light gray will be also painted on this particular figure. King Kong's eyes are very deep set, so to be able to have a dramatic effect on it, I'm using black as a background. Then the details follow, such as insides of the mouth, of course colors of the teeth, even colors of the nails, and individual fur on the body. Those will all be painted by hand. For the fur details, I decided to have it in two tones. A darker tone, which will be colored here in certain parts of the body, and then a lighter tone which will be situated in areas where there would be light touching the figure. The last of the painting details for King Kong would be the nails. And that's it for the making on King Kong. I hope you guys learned a little bit on this one. Well, of course, moving on, the next portion of this video would be my favorite one. This is Assembrix. You can do it, and let's vault in. First up, let's count the number of pieces for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 pieces. Alright, so let's start assembling. Let's pick up the head and then let's connect the lower jaw. Alright, let's set it aside and let's already start with the arms first because they have the most number of parts to it. So the hands will have, of course, the thumb. There you go. The index finger. And then the rest of the fingers. Let's connect this to the forearm. And that completes the left arm. Now let's do the right arm. Thumb, index, and the rest of the fingers. And then the rest of the arm. Oops, I forgot King Kong's accessories. Let's attach it as well. This goes to the left arm. Now, we can complete the figure. Attach the head to the torso. Then, the left arm. The right. And then the legs. Let's start with the left and then with the right one. And there you have it, the completed King Kong custom figure. Now here's the final look on the, I don't know what it's called yet, but I haven't really watched the movie. It's not yet available here in the Philippines, but from the photos that I got, I think this is how it looks like. I believe this is part of Godzilla's backplates, which Kong used as his weapon against Godzilla. I can't wait to watch the movie. I'll be watching that on Sunday, you know. Okay, so let's have a closer look on the custom King Kong. And this is a pretty exciting custom for me, so I brought out the rest of the gang here. We have Moira, we of course have PB, and Usher, as well as GCL. So the King Kong here that I have is actually based off from either the Skull Island King Kong and also the current movie King Kong. So I haven't really seen the movie yet, but some of the photo references that I use is actually from the King Kong of 2021, which is the King Kong vs. Godzilla. As I'm anticipating the movie, and a lot of you actually suggested and also requested to have a Godzilla or a King Kong custom, so I decided to make this one, and I really had fun making King Kong here. Well, without further ado, let's start with the closer look. And to be able to have a closer look, I'll have to take him into pieces. So I'll remove the head first and we'll be describing it now. So the headpiece is actually the hardest sculpt that I've done so far. It's in 3D form, so it's not like it's like creating a new face for this one, since a lot of my figures or my base figures do not have a big monkey, sculpts. So this is actually starting from zero scratch. Almost 90% of this particular piece is actually sculpted, so I'm really proud that I think I did a really good job at it. Alright, so let's replace it on the figure. It just looks weird without it. The articulation on the head is actually very similar with the T-Rex head. It can of course be twisted, look up, look down, and so on. The arms, on the other hand, is made up of several pieces. The shoulder joint is ball and socket, while the others would be the same articulation that is used for the T-Rex. The hands will have several articulations as well. One for the thumb, one for the index finger, and one for the rest of the fingers. As you can see here, the right hand will actually have an attachment or a stud receiver that will be actually connected to the sword or the weapon, or can be attached to minifigures. The left hand instead will have an accessory here that will be made up of chains as well as a shackle as well. I think this is how they put accessories on Bratz dolls. They had to remove the hands and then put on the bracelet. So I got an idea from the toy that my sister has from before. Now the leg articulation is likewise ball and socket, and so it's very articulated. The back side will have a 2x4 studs. And you can see here that the bulk of the torso is very wide and also thick as well. So here is the weapon that I made for King Kong. This is just composing of several brick parts to it. As you can see, the main dagger for this one is actually from a iceberg Lego part, which I cut into pieces and then attached it to this one. And that is how you do it. I am actually amazed at how this turned out to be. I never imagined myself, doing such a big figure, although I really did some like Argentinosaurus, Brachiosaurus, things like that. But at least for a primate like this one, it's really hard to do, but I'm really satisfied with the results. And that's it for our closer look on King Kong. I'd like to read on your thoughts are, so comment below. Now let's move on with the size comparisons of King Kong. And since this is not an ordinary size comparison, we will have several, discussions regarding this one. So as with the actual size, you can see this is how a minifigure measures up with the real figure. But in actuality, oops, this is how it actually is. At least for the Skull Island King Kong. I know that the King Kong for this movie, which is Godzilla vs. King Kong, is a lot more bigger, so I'm guessing this is how it actually measures up. So you can see here the hands are so big and Mora is so small. As much as I wanted to make a figure that big, I really cannot, and that is so impossible to do. It's like making a figure my size. So as I've said earlier, there are several sizes of King Kong. One would be, the size from the 2015 King Kong, the King Kong from Skull Island, and of course the King Kong from the recent movie, which is King Kong vs. Godzilla, which I think is the largest King Kong ever been seen on the movies. There are different interpretations, of course, but at least for what my base figure can be done, this is how King Kong is. Well, let's have the comparisons with my other figures. This is the Extinct Rex Velociraptor Blue, which is a recolor of the small Velociraptors that I had before. Alright, goodbye Blue. Up to the next comparison. You may have remembered here the Extinct Rex Venatosaurus, which I've shown before, but if you haven't really seen this video yet, please check out my listing of other customs in Extinct Rex playlist. So taking a look at or comparing this one in size between this King Kong and the Venatosaurus, I think this is about the right proportion and size with that of the movie, which is the 2015 Peter Jackson King Kong. Oops. The Venatosaurus is actually looking like a dromaeosaurid from that particular island and is really fearsome as well. He wants a taste of GCL. Well, let's move on with the next comparison. This is the the goat. I'm just kidding. This is the Extinct Rex Camp Cretaceous T-Rex. So Rexy here is one of my recent customs. It is one of the I think the most proudest I've made so far. Although it looks really simple, it really took me a lot of time, researching and also doing on the paint for this particular figure. If you guys haven't seen the full video on the Tyrannosaurus Rex yet for Camp Cretaceous, Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, please check out my Extinct Rex playlist as well. So taking a look at the comparisons, I think although Rexy here is a bit small, I think it is almost the correct size for when it is compared with, of course, King Kong. Alright, so that is it for our comparisons for King Kong. You'll see more of Rexy in the coming videos for Extinct Rex. Making my own custom King Kong has been such an adventure for me, and I really can't wait to see the movie Godzilla vs. King Kong. Well, it's almost end of the video, so let's have the last looks on King Kong. A little bit of trivia for Kong. He is initially known only as Kong before Carl Olson. He is a native of Mondo Island, referred to him as Bon Kong, which means or translate as King Kong. There are actually a lot of names that were given to King Kong. Among these would be the Beast, Eighth Wonder of the World, the Eighth Wonder, Gorilla, and the Greatest King. He stands for the 103 feet in Skull Island, and in the latest one, he stands 334 feet. And cut! Good take, Moira! Thanks, everyone! And that's it for the video on King Kong. I hope you guys like it as much as I did. Now it's time for us to announce the Guess PC contest winners. And as usual, we have 10 lucky picks for this episode. And here they are. Pro Rex Plays, Alan Grant, Josh Kaiju World, Madonna Nara, Tyrannodzilla Vescas, Marcel Bidek, Samuel David Villacava, Sida Nunez, Wade, and Calvin LK. Congratulations, everyone! And now for our top 10 winners!
Top 10.
Jurassic Bricks,
Top
Miguel
9.
Philip Eisen,
Top 8.
Cockberg Lukowiak,
Top 7.
Etienne Vermeulen,
Top 6.
Bender Games,
Top
Zaki
5.
PH,
Top 4.
The GCL,
Top 3.
Talon,
Top 2.
Maximum Power, and
Top
Mandiamon!
1.
Congratulations, everyone! And I'll see you on the next Guess PC contest! Also, our baby Moira has her own vlog now, The Adventures of Moira and Asher. Please watch their videos and support their channel as well by subscribing. And as we always would say here on Instinct Breaks, let your inner dino break roar! Bye, everyone!